Hunting for that magical genie with piles of cash? Join Candace and her guests as they uncover financial secrets, have a laugh at past mistakes, and savor financial rebounds. Thank you for listening. Let's dive in and do something today that your future self will thank you for.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Money Flow Genie Podcast. I am here with Bonnie Schwam. I'm so excited to have her here. Bonnie, I just want to introduce you first. This woman sent me a quote that I want to start off with because she represents this quote. And I know you may not think this, Bonnie, but it's true. Don't be rolling your eyes at me. She sent me a quote: "Women who dare to stand are the ones who inspire others to rise." And it's an unknown author that we have here. You really do, Bonnie. We were having this conversation before when we first came on the podcast, and you are a woman that stands out, and you carry people along. You grab them by the hand and you pull them when you see that they might need that little extra boost. And I just want to acknowledge you for that and how appropriate it was for you to send that quote, because you are an example of that. So welcome to the podcast.
Oh, well, wow. How can we go on from that? It doesn't get any better. But thank you so much. I appreciate that. That is really true, is that I have always been that person. Literally, I have always been that person since kindergarten. No, I didn't go to kindergarten. I went into first grade. So I had an end of the rainbow club in first grade when I was 5 years old. And it was women, and we would meet together and form a community. I don't even know what we talked about, but it was the end of the rainbow club. I don't know. And so, like, throughout my life, I've always been a leader. Sometimes I intimidate people, which I don't mean to, but bring people along for sure, because it's scary. It's scary to do things.
It is scary to do things. And it's also, it's easier to do things in numbers. And sometimes people are afraid to say, I don't know. Most of the time, I'm the person that constantly asks questions. If I don't understand, more than likely, if I don't ask the question, I may not hear the answer. So I might as well step up and ask the question. And I know that's not an easy thing to do. And to be able to say, hey, come on, let's do this together. That says a lot. Wow. I'm just picturing you in your little first grade and you're, oh God.
At my little end of the rainbow club that we had during recess. There we go.
Oh, did you have a little golden bucket at the end of it as well that you carried around?
So I think I remember sitting in a little circle with like 4 or 5 other little girls. And that's what I remember. That it's been a minute since I've been 5, but yeah, but it was fun. But I've always kind of like, I took on the school bully in 3rd grade because she was really mean. And it was like, I was a leader. Like, yeah, I just have always been a leader, always. I think my mother, God rest her, I used to want to play the drums. I wanted to be a drummer. Mother said, you're not playing the drums. I need you to be in the front of people.
Wow.
That's what she said. She said, you're not going to be back there hidden. I want you up here. I'm like, but I want to play the drums. But yeah.
Well, if your mom actually knew a little bit about music, it sounds like she really didn't understand. I'm just assuming. But the drum is the main, everybody goes off the drum beat. Everyone plays off of that. So you are the leader when you are the drummer, actually.
But I think as far as she just wanted me to.
She wanted you to step forward and not be.
Yeah, not be in the back.
She probably could see your gifts.
So yeah, she used to play the piano and organ. So she was an organist in the church. So
there you go.
But yeah, so as far as maybe that's got something to do with it, that she was like, okay, be out there, be out there, be out there. I'm like, and sometimes I'm shy and I don't want to be out there, but
right.
Anyway.
Other than your accomplishments in first grade, I know you've done a lot more since then. I just want to introduce a little bit about your experience, and we'll kind of roll right into this a little bit more. You have been a residential real estate broker associate since 2005. You've moved into the multifamily world since 2020. And you are a limited partner, meaning for those that are new to the abbreviations of what are definitions of limited partner, passive investing into, is that 146 units, 1,461 Class A, which is like a high-end luxury apartment complex.
Oh, yeah, in South Florida. And
Yeah, yeah.
and around.
And you're also a general partner in 2,600 self-storage, which is a whole different other beast in itself. People kind of mix the two.
That would be a word. It is a different beast altogether.
Right.
And being a general partner is way different than being a limited partner, that's for sure.
Yes. And you're at the end of the rainbow, after your experience of running that club, you are the co-founder of the Women's Realtors Who Invest. And it's a community of women realtors who want to learn about investing in real estate themselves. Obviously, you're deeply involved in community. You're the president of the Larkspur Chamber of Commerce, and that is in Colorado.
Yeah, I live in Larkspur, Colorado. And so, yeah, I'm the chamber president. I've, of course, been on boards all my life. But yeah, so this one is near and dear. And, I started this I actually started the chamber with another lady who has since passed in like 2007. Then went back.
Oh dear.
I live on the Front Range, if people know what that is. So I from Fort Collins to Trinidad. So in that Front Range I-25 corridor, and I also have a place in the mountains. So I've lived in two different communities, which is really hard to be. I feel like I'm in two different places at the same time, and I don't really ever know where I am. So I'm like going, where am I? Where am I? So there. But yeah, so I think as far as I'm excited about it, because I think that this particular area in Larkspur is beautiful. It's stunningly beautiful, but it is sometimes overlooked. So I'm looking for businesses and that kind of thing that want to do business with the people that live in Larkspur, right? It's a higher demographic as far as income. And it's like, we want people that want to do business out here. So
Right.
so I've increased it. Gosh, I've more than doubled the membership. We've more than doubled in the last 2 years.
Just the fact that you started it and then doubled it, I'm sure you're going to make quite an impact in that community already from just who you are. It takes time to do these things. It's not an overnight thing, but to have doubled the membership, oh, come on, that's great.
Yeah. And then I think we're almost, and my goal is to have another 50 members before I'm kind of like, this is my last year as the president. I'm like, okay, it's time. You get to the point that it's time. I could do it, but it's time. It's time to up other people. I'm that person that's like, okay, I know what your gifts are and this and that. And who is the next person to rise up and be, take it to the next level? So
see, this goes right back to your quote, and we're going to roll into this after I finish telling you this and praising you again. We're going to roll into your self-praise moment of the showcase. But this shows that to be a leader is also about allowing others to shine, not just look at me, I'm on stage, look at me. It's about allowing others to shine, bringing them along, and then stepping back and watching them take their own stage. And that's really a wonderful thing, Bonnie. That really is. It says a lot about you as a leader. That's a true leader, I have to say. So with that, tell me about your self-praise showcase moment. And this is because in society, we are not really taught, particularly as women, that it's okay to say something that we're proud of. And I want to honor that and then just be, power example for our listeners that it's okay to say, hey, I'm really happy and proud of myself, whether something big or small. So take it away, Bonnie. What do you got going on?
Okay. So, I live in Colorado, so I'm fairly familiar with snow. The one thing that probably about 7 or 8 years ago, we had this horrific snowstorm that lasted forever. We called it the bomb cyclone. It came in, I couldn't see, there was whiteout conditions. I made it home, I don't even know how, but I was like, okay, I never want to do that again, right? I have like a home inspection coming up. It was coming up last week. And wouldn't you know, 60-mile-an-hour winds, whiteout conditions. And I'm like going, okay, Bonnie, you can do this. And I get in my car, I have a reliable car. So you got to have one of those that you feel comfortable. And I'm on these back roads, and there'll be times that it's 60 mile an hour across with the blowing snow and you can't see anything in front of you. And I just keep going, okay, just keep moving forward. Just keep the thing. If you got to stop here for a second till it blows over, you just stop. But then keep moving forward. Keep moving forward. I'm on these back roads. It was not fun. So I get there. So it's like takes me probably twice what it would normally take me to get there. But I got there to the house in one piece. The inspector was there. I said, I think I need to take a breath before I have to get back out. I have to get back into my car and then go back to Larkspur, which is like 40 some minutes away on a good day, and do a housing huddle event that I do, housing huddle, informational things for the community. So I'm like, for me to be afraid, of course I was afraid, there's no question, but to persevere through whiteout conditions and know that I'm protected, to know that it's going to be okay. And if I have to stop, then I have to stop. I knew that there was one of my clients was on the way, and I went, oh my God, if I really got to pull off the road, I know that she'll take me in, right? So
Right.
knowing where you are, but also so persistence, perseverance, overcoming obstacles that appear in your way that are way bigger than you think you can handle. And then you come to the end of it and you made it. So that's and I think a lot of, because a lot of people you shouldn't have been out. But it was like, I go, okay, my client needs his home inspection. The inspectors, we didn't cancel it. I would have much rather canceled it. The next day was beautiful. But that day I overcame the fear, overcame the circumstances of the horrible roads and the whiteout conditions, and accomplished a goal. There we go.
And that is amazing, because that's exactly how you move forward in making a new change, a challenge, accepting, like, I want to try something different. It's that due diligence that we have within ourselves that we move forward and that we actually make change in our lives and to increase the quality of our life. You did it in a very challenging way. And I'm glad you're safe.
I wouldn't recommend that for people, but yeah.
Yeah, but look what came out of that for you, though. That is definitely something that inspired you, and that any given situation, you can look back on that. That's one of the things that is often, it's, and particularly with social media now, it's very difficult not to compare yourself to others, but only compare yourself to yourself to see, wow, I can do this. If I did that, I can do this. So that's
Do it afraid.
yeah, that's fantastic. So let's dive into, like, how did you end up going into, first of all, to real estate, and then tell us a little bit about your journey, and where do you feel like where is this taking you, like, financially, like, do you have like financial freedom, or are you one of these people that just like add things on, and what is retirement? That's not a part of my vocabulary.
Wow, that was a lot. Okay. So in terms of real estate, I was a banker for a long time. I was also in advertising, radio, TV, media, sales, and started a couple radio stations. So that was afraid. But I always wanted to be a realtor. I mean, back in the day when my kids were little, I would take them to open houses and I would say, okay, pick out your rooms. I know that sounds weird, but we did. So out of my 3 daughters, 2 of them are realtors as well. So I think as far as it's a genetic link or something, but my brother, here's one thing that I remember that I would encourage your listeners to think about. My brother, who has been a realtor since dinosaurs roamed the earth, he told me, he discouraged me. Instead of encouraging me, he discouraged me. And he said, if you have 6 months of income saved up, you're not going to make it, and this and that. And so I believed him because he was my big brother, and
Right.
and so on and so forth. Reality is that wasn't necessarily true. You know what I mean? It's like, so I had a various period of time. That was way back when maybe I was in my mid 20s. I'm in my, how long have I been a realtor now? Anyway, 20 years. Yes. Okay. Anyway, so I was probably in my late 40s mid to late 40s when I got my real estate license. That was a lot of time that I didn't do what I wanted to do. And because I believed in something that somebody told me, and it wasn't really hasn't been my experience. Like real estate, but then again, I was like, in terms of multifamily, because your financing in commercial space is basically based on the property and what does it cash flow and does it, yeah, as opposed to me, right? So
Right.
me individually. So I remember this so distinctly. There was a time that I was going through a divorce, et cetera, et cetera. So my big house that I'm in right now, I wasn't in this house. I had to rent it out because I couldn't afford it, but I couldn't sell it because he wouldn't let me. He was on the title, so he wouldn't let me sell it. So he was hoping I would lose it, but I didn't. Anyway, so I was living in this little condo thing, right? And so I had saved up enough money. I think at that time the owner was like, I want to sell this, and you're a realtor and you can sell this, and I'll sell it to you for 75,000. Okay. I was like, oh my God, I've got like 40,000 right here. Do you know that I couldn't get a loan because I had other properties loan? And I was like, oh my God. So I listed it and sold it for 125. So immediately there would have been a 50,000 cash flow influx, right? And then it sold like a year and a half, 2 years later for 220. And I'm like, what? Why was that not me? Why could I not do that? It was eye-opening because when you're in that commercial space, it's not necessarily like I have multiple properties, right? You have to look at it completely different than you would a regular residential property. So that was like, okay, why am I not doing this? Why am I, as a realtor, I see other people making money off of things, selling
Right.
duplexes, fourplexes, apartment buildings, whatever. And I'm getting a commission, yay, but I'm missing out on the windfall that comes from owning a bigger property. So I like the fact that, so I started going into that, like, okay, they're going to look at the property itself and how is it going to perform, and does it meet that qualification? And then building on my resume as far as being an LP in 1400 Class A and then 26. It's all building. Your building is building blocks. So you're building upon the ability to, can I manage a property? You know what I mean? Like, I know what it feels like to be a general partner? And like I said before, it's way different than being a limited partner. There's nothing wrong with being a limited partner. Certainly a lot less stress, right?
Yeah.
General partners, it's again a learning curve. And it's when the property, I would love to say that our property is going amazing, but it's been challenging. And we've had to look at 2 or 3 different property managers, and we're like, okay, our economic vacancy is not good. We're not able to pay out dividends, but we're still hanging in there, but we're certainly not where I thought it would be. Because I used to have a saying with self-storage, it ain't sexy, but it's stable. Well, I don't say that anymore. I can't say that now because it has not been stable, and certainly not sexy, but it hasn't been stable. So it's just, I've been sitting there, something that I thought was going to be more firm has not proven to be such. But what comes out of that? Knowledge,
Right.
working as a team, still having that goal, keeping your investors notified and happy, even though they don't want to hear what I have to say sometimes, saying it in a way that, hey, we're still feeling optimistic about this. We still feel good about this, but here's our challenges. And then I think as far as the happiest part of commercial real estate was getting a K1.
Yes.
That was like Christmas to me. It was like, oh my God. So I was like, oh, but 2023, which seems weird, that's like 2 years now, working on 2 years, was not a lot of realtors this past year. I read something that said 70% of realtors in the United States had 1 or less sales.
Wow.
And so this past year, I've had a good year. I'm happy with my year. 2023, I was considering, do I give up? Do I give this up? And what I did is I got a coach. I got a real estate coach.
Mhm.
Love him, love him. And he didn't necessarily, I'm not that person that's like, okay, here, write all these things and make all these calls. He just talked to me where I was. He met me where I was. You are down here. You went off the cliff and now you're down in the valley of despair and we got to get you up over here, right? And we're going to work and we're going to get you up on this side over here. And I was like, I would say 2024 is because I listened to him and because maybe I had someone to talk to about my challenges, right? Encourage me when I didn't feel like I could go on. He was there. And so I would encourage people to have a mentor, a coach, other people that you can talk to when you're going through those kind of things. So when everybody else in 2024, 70% people were having not such a great year, I had a good year. You know what I mean? And this year is starting off good again. And I feel like it's because I cared enough, even though it was money that I didn't necessarily have, right? Mm-hmm. It was money that I knew needed to invest in myself.
Yes.
It's investing in yourself and believing that this drought, this valley of despair is not going to last forever, mm-hmm. and be victorious on the other side.
The one thing about getting a coach too is having someone that keeps you in. I'm not a sports person, but it very fits perfectly here. Is keeping you in the game. There's one thing to hold your hand, but it's another thing of, okay, it's like, all right, you got to get out there and you have to continue moving forward, whether it's reinventing yourself, and usually it's not even that extreme, but it's just look at it through a different set of lenses and move forward, making some slight changes in the decisions and how you move forward. And in doing that, you start to see that you're doing, step forward, might be a step back, might be a step forward, step back again for a second, and then, but you're moving forward. And
yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, because there was a couple of times when I felt like I got KO'd. I got hit in the face. And I was like, what would have taken? And so that's one thing when people want to look at investing, all that. Sometimes you get knocked in the face, mm-hmm. or you get pushed down and you have to brush it off, get up and believe in yourself and where you want to go and mm-hmm. keep going. So that was where my coach said, okay, he would go like that. I whined a little and he goes, okay, you done? We're done. Let's move on. Let's go. We got things to do. We got places to go. I mean, you know what I mean? He let me wallow for a second, but he didn't let me live there. And I think as far as a lot of times, that can keep us in a place that we don't want to be. So I got out of that. And so this year, again, we're only in January, but this is good. I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to make more in commissions in the month of January than I made for the full year of 2023.
Now, wow. Congratulations. That's fantastic.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. And do you attribute that to probably multiple things, but it sounds like to me that you attribute that to having the coach and doing the work that you did in 2024 is giving you the tools and just to continue forward without hesitation.
I think as far as having, again, I feel like that coaching component on that person, a cheerleader, accountability person, whatever, different people need different kind of coaching, right? I'm probably not my style of coaching. If he told me you got to make 15, 20 calls a day and you have to do this and you have to send all this, I would have lost my mind. Mm-hmm. You go with what you're good at. So he saw me, a person who was like, okay, you're involved in your community. Get out there. You're now I used to say I was the, they didn't know me as a real estate agent. They may know me as a leader in the chamber, but they didn't see me as a realtor. And I wanted to go, I need to be seen as a realtor. And so we were working on that with different things, videos and this and that. And so just different avenues for marketing, that kind of thing. So he basically took my skill set that he saw in me, and he didn't try to reinvent me into someone I'm not. And so
Right.
I appreciate that, and I think you have to be true to you, whoever that is. If you're analytical and this and that, perfect. Be that person. You know what I mean? I'm more, as you can tell, I'm much more social, and I like communication, and I like teamwork, and I'm more investor relations, if you will. I'm that person. It doesn't mean that I can't see a deal and know that it's good. That's where my real estate experience comes in. But it's like, there's other things. That's why you have other people on your team. Always can't be a certain way. We all have to bring certain skills to the team
Yeah.
that help overall. And in terms of, you were talking about financial freedom or something, it's like, I call it stepping stones. I think as far as my limited partner Class A properties have not gone full cycle yet. I'm thinking that they will do that this year, and so I have to think about, well, do I want to cash out of it? Do I want to just take the money, double my money or whatever and get out? Do I want to stay in? You have to think about that. And of course, what I said about my storage units, I'm certainly not able to live off of that. So basically, I think a lot of people, you're building the blocks, and some people have the fortune of being able to live off of their earnings right now, but that's not my experience. My experience is, okay, I'm like, okay, I get 400 here, and I get 500 here, and I get 300 here, and I get 200 there, and all of it's going to add up to where I would feel comfortable. I don't think I'll ever retire, but I feel comfortable scaling back and live, because I want my money to work for me, not me to work for my money. So
Yes.
yeah. So I'm thinking that's all of this is building so that will happen. The 200, the 400, whatever, those amount of money, all of it works together. I remember Grant Cardone saying, okay, you got a check for 8,000, then you got a check for 10,000, you got a check for this. All of it was building his money was working for him. He wasn't necessarily working for his money, if that makes sense.
Yeah. The exchange of time for money is, you're extremely limited because there's only 24 hours in the day, and at least 8 of that we need to be sleeping. So it's not much. Yeah. No, yes. Hopefully. That's right. So definitely, I mean, that's the one thing that I love about real estate, is that you can be working, like I have my landscaping business. I can be doing that. And I can also have my money working in another property because I have a team that's helping to run that, not just me doing that. Being like the sole proprietor all my life, the challenge for me coming into particularly the multifamily world was like, ooh, this is teamwork. How do I do that? Because I've been the boss for 33 years. That's just like, okay. And then, one thing that I realized, and you probably have seen this too, and I don't know if you tell me if you experience this. Do you find that you're seeing your experience in your own profession, and then you're coming into something new, meaning like the multifamily world, but you're obviously using a mentor that's helping you to be the person that's really running that project? Are you seeing more value in your own personal experience as a realtor that you can bring to the table that maybe you're not bringing forth because you haven't done it so much? So you like for the self-storage, are you finding yourself, I bring my experience to this and I am of value? Did you play with that? You had a little bit?
I think as far as at first, it was a goal to be a general partner, and it was very intimidating. It was like, number one, you and I both know when you go to these masterminds that are multifamily commercial spaces, the women to men are like what, 2 to 8 or maybe more. Women being in a commercial space and doing this kind of thing is pretty uncommon still, even though there's getting to be more women, and I appreciate that. But a lot of times they're helpers with their husband, that kind of stuff, but which is fine, which is great. it's just that was intimidating. But I think as far as I've always been kind of a out of the box thinker. So like as these things appear in our challenges with the self-storage, I'm putting on my out of the box thinking. Let's not just think, okay, we have to do it this way because we've always done it this way. It's like,
Right.
I'm not that person. I'm like, okay, how can we make this better? How can this change? What kind of things can we do? And so I was looking at like a cell tower, people taking over the cell towers and doing a lease with them. And we have billboards and, we have, we have other houses on the properties. So there's just like a lot of things you have to think about, not just here's a 10 by 12 storage unit, right? Go, okay, what other creative things can you do with that? You know what I mean? And think out of the box, because that's what we need to do, because the same old is not working. So
Yeah.
I think as far as bringing real estate, sometimes that can be I think it's a blessing and a curse, because I always think of what the first rule of real estate: location. And then I remember Grant going, do you love the location? And I'm like, and when I'm looking at deals, because I look at deals pretty much every day, I'm like, no, I don't love the location. And I'm like, I don't know if that's a stumbling block or it's a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know, but it stops me. It stymies me when people are like, okay, they're buying this over here. I'm like, I don't want to buy that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was like, I don't want that. But now, so my latest venture, if I put it out here, it may happen, right? Let's put it out there.
Put it out there.
So my family, I'm from Kansas City, and my family has land. So I have like cousins, if you will, because all are, except for one, all of my mother's siblings are gone, with the exception of one. So here's all the cousins. We own like 16 acres of land in Kansas City, Kansas, which is becoming like, instead of the rural little place where I grew up, it's now got professional ball fields and racetracks and hotels and shopping. Just think about it. It's like they took away all my family's land and they built all this. So we have like 16 acres, and I'm like, what do we do with this? And we get shot down by the people that are to the west of it because they don't want an apartment building. So trying to sell it. So here's my goal, is to work with some of the warriors that do assisted living and to build an assisted living facility on that property along with self-storage. That's my goal for this year.
It's going to happen. And so it is.
And so it is.
Well, you know why so it is that, you had the resistance about the multifamily. There's something different about assisted living. If there is a business, it is a for-profit, but there's something, it's greatly needed, and it's seen in the eyes of people much differently than just a big business, So I see this coming, the big banner sign coming soon, strapped to the construction fence.
Yeah, I feel like it's called Legends, because the area itself now is called Legends. I go to my family, we are the legends of which they speak, because it was all my family's land. So I go, Legends Assisted Living. So there we go, Legends, because that's the area now they've named. So I'm like, okay, it's Legends.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
We have run out of time, but I think this is a perfect spot with Legends. And I'd love to have you back and hear about how Legends is going for you in the future.
Well, that'd be something.
That would be, yeah, it's going to happen. Bonnie, you're such a go-getter. I can't see it not. I just can't see it not. I already see it happening. You'll be standing there. I'm going to be seeing that Facebook post with you standing in front of cutting the big, huge ribbon with the world's largest pair of scissors.
Absolutely. That big, pretty red ribbon, big scissors.
Yes. And the construction hat that always goes with the outfit. Yes.
Double. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. The brand new shiny shovels. Make sure it's a brand new shiny shovel.
No dirty shovels. Got to be pretty. Yeah.
Bonnie, how can people get in touch with you?
Oh my gosh. If they want to. No, I would say I can put like my contact information on there. You can call me, they can text me, they can friend me on Facebook, they can come to Colorado. There's a lot of different ways. And if they're interested in Legends Assisted Living,
There you go.
but yeah, so my business name is my LLC is Legacy. Yeah, there we go. Legacy Builders Investments LLC. I mean, you can put down my name and my phone number. However, I'm available. I'm around. I'm here.
All right. Well, we'll have all your contact information in the show notes. So I just want to thank you so much for being on the podcast. This was truly amazing and inspiration, I'm sure, to many women out there, and not just women, but men and anyone, to just step into the fear and move forward and just make a plan So I want to thank you for coming on. And I want to thank you. And I want to thank all of our listeners for being here. If you love this podcast or find that this might be helpful to someone else, please share it with others. And remember, do something today that your future self will thank you for. And thank you so much for coming. And we'll see you next time. Thank you so much, Bonnie.
Bye.
The info in this podcast is straight from our personal experiences. You alone possess the power to manifest your desires. You are the genie in the bottle, awaiting your command. So ask smart questions. We're not licensed financial pros, so be sure to consult with a licensed professional, attorney, or tax consultant.